Right, this is another blog. This is basically a number of well, two things basically that I'm talking about on here. And first of all, my pitch, the new Harchester.net website is up and running. It's been going for about 2 weeks at least, and it's been up and running. It's not a bad little site. I'm not saying it's the greatest thing in the world, but it's certainly going to be something we're going to get used to. I'm still happy that we've got the message board on there, so we can have a little bit of banter. I actually, in my own mind, don't care a little bit now on that. So basically, if anybody wants to start on me, I don't care really, because basically I'll probably ignore them and so on. And I do probably especially the little pricks on there. You are the one that says get a life, Van Dyke, just for a fucking post count. Fucking prick. That's what you are. Anyway, and yeah, and I'm quite happy that one or two of the people that or many of them from previous, some of the good ones like AJB and Dino and Tom and so on are still there, because they're the great people of that, and are still and all this and that. And of course, I fancy going out in the snow and getting some slush and saying, I've got a present for you, Mr. Steveny. Slush! Because we know you don't like it. Anyway, enough about my pitch. I'm sure it'll become, one of the great things about it. And if anybody else new joins, hopefully I can get into them, and some girls and so on. Come on, girls, sign up for my pitch. Would like you on there, and I'd like to be your friend. But anyway, moving on. Idea that's come into my head about writing a book. I want to write many books, but one idea that has come into my head about books is something to do with the Billboard music charts, or connected to it in a way. I do collect books, and I have got some books to show you. Basically, I've got Joel Whitburn's Top Pop Singles Billboard 1955 to 2006. It is the definitive guide to the Hot 100 in the history of the US music charts. This is the equivalent of the British hit singles, basically. Opening one typical page there. Information is absolutely by far it's something you just can't give, because it gives you basically information on everybody that has basically had a record in there. Typical example of something like I'm on the page where it says Sugar Babes. It's got a female pop vocal trio from England, Keisha Buchanan, Murtiana Rosa Buena, and Heidi Range. It's got the name of the song, Hole in the Head. It got to number 96 in 2004. It really does give you the information on everybody in there. When you turn around the pages, I suppose depending on how big the artists are, they do get a little bit more coverage in there. Like, for instance, I just happened to go to somewhere like Ricky Nelson, and it will say something like born Eric Hillard Nelson on the 5th of the 8th, 1940 in Teaneck, New Jersey, died in a plane crash in DeKalb, and then it just DeKalb, Texas, on the date, and it gives you a little bit more about that and all the hits and so on, which is really good. I've got loads of these books. I actually do collect them because I'm a really big fan of them. Billboard album, 6th edition. Another one again. It's got all the same sort of idea in it. It gives you the information about the artists. In this one, it actually gives you the album, but it gives you every song underneath the album. So basically, if you're looking for an artist, let's say for instance Nick Lowe, it tells you about him, the album, and then it gives you basically all the information of songs that are on the album. Next to the album, it says what number album it's on. So it's got Long Walk Back, album number 6, or the ones in bold, I believe, are the singles that he had in the charts. So that's great piece of thing. And what it's given me an idea is basically writing a book based on the hits that never was. Basically, it's to do with UK music. It's to do with artists who were big in the UK and possibly around the world, but never actually dented anything in the American charts. We would do that, They have to have had none, nothing, zilch, no hits whatsoever, and that's in all the charts. So technically, even if you think that they've not had anything in the actual albums or singles chart of America. They might well have had something in the dance and disco chart, or they might have had something that appeared in, say, the adult songs, you know, AC charts. But that doesn't count, because technically they would be considered a one-hit wonder, so we're going to be using artists who've never had anything whatsoever in the American charts. And that's going to be an idea for me to write. Also, what I'll do at the back is I'll look at things like artists who've had at least one hit or two hits at some stage in the American charts. So it gives an idea of people who kind of wanted to go over them, have success, and that. And there's a lot of examples on that, and I've started with some already for the letter A, and I've used people like A1, you know, great boy band from a few years back, you know, who never had anything in, you know, people like Ash, they've never had anything in America. Atomic Kitten never really did. But some of the biggest ones of the past is people like Billy Fury. Wonderful piece of, or history of an icon from the 60s. You know, he rivaled the Beatles as being one of the most successful artists of the 60s. But in America, it was absolutely virtually zilch and nothing. I would like to have done something that is a lot harder, but it's impossible, or possibly would take time research, and that is to use artists who never had a US release whatsoever. Meaning they've been, say, successful in the UK, but they've never had a US album or single release. But it'll be hard to do. The one that does spring to mind, but they've had it before and obviously after the period, is Status Quo. Because they only had 2 US Hot 100 hits in the 60s. They had 1 Billboard album chart hit, and then from 1978 up to 1999, no album and singles released in America, I believe. Well, I don't know about a single, but I do know albums, it was absolutely virtually zilch. And I think singles went the same way. Zilch. They were not released in America. It was like the decision to maybe go around the world, release all these albums, singles, and then think, do we release them in America? Oh, we won't release them in America. Can't believe that. Absolutely crazy to think about that. And when you got an artist who never does that, you know, you just think the American fans, there's probably a few of them out there who like Status Quo and probably thinking, we don't get the albums anymore, but we buy them on the import from, obviously, you know. But then again, it's vice versa. If you look at American acts, you probably have the same thing, like the American country singers that probably don't release an album in this country. Yet we can buy them from imports, but it doesn't mean so they're going to release an album or a single in this country. So there you go. It's an idea that I've got, and it's a really good idea to do it. And what I probably will do is I'll use the same model on Billboard. I will basically do the same. So I'll be using like the information that basically Billboard has. So what I'll probably do is I'll write it down in a list of songs that basically have been keyed in. The likelihood is I would like to put it into sort of like a chart book where it's got all the big songs that they actually had out in this country, and then what I can probably do, underneath it I can write the information that speaks to it. So basically, it doesn't matter who you are, but the information would be quite simply out there, you know. So for instance, something like A1, I could just write down basically the information states who they are, where they were from, formed, and that's all I need to do. I don't need to put anything else. But there you go. My little idea that I'm venturing into. If anybody has any suggestions about what else to include in it, or would like to help him researching for it for me, I would be very happy to oblige on that one, and so on. So there you go. That's all I've got to talk about for now, and I will speak to you later, and more blogs to follow soon. Bye for now.